One of the most powerful swings in the game belongs to a man that's about my size, and he hits it about 80 yards past me. He hits it about 80 yards past everybody, the longest on the PGA Tour. One of the things I want you to notice, in his first move away from the golf ball, beautiful setup, but you see that shift? He shifted to the right ever so slightly. You know, you hear all the time about don't sway, don't sway. Every single player in the game sways, especially the longest hitter. So that little bump to the right, that gets pressure right here, okay? He's moved pressure in right here, but you just walk.
Third piece, 4 majors by age 25. AFE matched only by Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. Rory McIlroy seemed on an unstoppable trajectory, but then something changed. A decade of heartbreak followed near misses, final round collapses, and the crushing weight of expectations shadowed his career. The golf world watched as tournament after tournament slipped through his fingers. So how did a golfer with such extraordinary talent go 10 years without adding to his major talent? And what finally changed in 2025? When he completed the goal that he'd always dreamed of in the quiet town of Hollywood, Northern Ireland, population barely 12,000. A legend's journey began with a small plastic club. When Rory McIlroy handed his 2-year-old son that first tiny club, he had no clue it would spark a destiny that would shake golf forever. The McIlroys weren't living large, not even close. Jerry poured drinks at the local Hollywood golf club just to keep things afloat. But as Rory's swing got sharper, the bills got steeper, and one job stopped cutting it. Golf isn't cheap, it eats up money fast. So Jerry took on 3 jobs at once: scrubbing locker rooms at dawn, pouring pints till midnight, and fixing whatever needed fixing in between. Meanwhile, Rosie McIlroy worked night shifts at a factory, the two parents barely catching a glimpse of each other at the door. All of it for one dream: their boy and his little white ball. Their whole lives started revolving around their son's dream. The grind, the sleepless nights, all of it shaped Rory into a machine built on pure discipline. While other kids plastered their walls with football heroes and movie stars, Rory's room looked like a museum of golf greatness. Every inch was covered with Tiger Woods milestones, each one studied like scripture. But the real magic was in those handwritten notes by his bed, wild promises scrawled by a fearless kid. "I will be world number 1, and I will win all 4 majors," by 9 years old. That's not just confidence, that's prophecy. His talent became too big to ignore, and when he showed up on the TV show Kelly, chipping golf balls straight into a washing machine, the crowd didn't just see skill, they saw destiny in action. Shot after shot, Rory nailed every swing with that easy confidence that made the crowd gasp, and he just grinned, like fame was already his playground. The spotlight didn't scare him, it fueled him. His amateur rise was nothing short of explosive. At 13, he smashed the Hollywood Golf Club record with a jaw-dropping 61. By 15, he was rocking the European Junior stage, and at just 16, he made history, the youngest ever to win both the West of Ireland and Irish Close championships. Then came 17, the moment he ruled the amateur world as the #1 ranked player on the planet, the same man whose posters covered his walls. Tiger Woods was now the name people dared to compare him to. And while most players grind for years before turning pro, Rory skipped the waiting line. At 18, he grabbed his European Tour card like it was his birthright. He became the youngest European ever to make it through qualifying school. No shortcuts, no handouts, just pure talent and grit. His rookie year had sparks, sure, but nothing world-shaking yet. Then came 2009, the Dubai Desert Classic, and everything flipped overnight. At just 20 years old, Rory went head-to-head with legends like Tiger Woods and Sergio Garcia, and beat them. His one-shot victory over Justin Rose wasn't just a win, it was a warning shot to the entire sport. Golf's next superstar had arrived. The mood in the press room shifted instantly. Reporters stopped asking if he'd win a major and started asking how many and how soon. Even 6-time major champ Nick Faldo couldn't hold back, boldly declaring, "This kid's got the stuff to dominate the next era." "We might be witnessing Europe's answer to Tiger Woods," one analyst said in awe. "That swing, it's got the precision of science and the rhythm of art. I'd be shocked if he doesn't win multiple majors within 5 years." Turns out that prediction was right, but laughably understated. By 2010, Rory stormed onto the PGA Tour at Quail Hollow, letting the world know he wasn't just another European prodigy, he was the real deal. With a fiery final round 62, a new course record, he crushed the field by 4 shots and left fans in disbelief. A new era had officially begun. That win made him the youngest PGA Tour champion since Tiger Woods, and it came with a 2-year exemption, a golden ticket to chase greatness. His rise was rocket fast, but just as he soared, the fall came crashing down. Golf, more than any other sport, has a cruel way of reminding you who's boss. At the 2011 Masters, Rory stormed into Sunday with a 4-shot lead, the green jacket practically waiting for him. But what happened next became the stuff of heartbreak legend. He shot an unthinkable 88 over par, the worst closing round ever by a Masters leader. A triple bogey on the 10th, a double on the 12th. Every swing looked heavier than the last. In just a few brutal hours, McIlroy went from golf's chosen one to its most public victim of pressure. The world watched in stunned silence as the Golden Boy fell apart on live TV. And that wasn't the last time Rory's mind would betray his magic. Most young players would have crumbled after such a public disaster. Careers have ended for far less. But for McIlroy, that collapse became fuel for one of the greatest comebacks golf has ever seen. Just 70 days after that Masters heartbreak, he showed up at the US Open like a man reborn. And what he did at Congressional Country Club was pure domination. He went 16 under par, smashing the US Open scoring record like it was nothing. His 8-stroke victory margin wasn't just big, it was historic, surpassing legends like Nicklaus, Woods, and Els. Then came 2012, and Rory doubled down on greatness. At the PGA Championship, he didn't just win, he obliterated the field again by 8 strokes, setting a new record for the largest victory margin in tournament history. Redemption? He didn't just find it, he owned it. At just 23, Rory became the youngest golfer to win multiple majors since Seve Ballesteros back in 1980. A prodigy, stepping into legend territory. Then came 2014, the year that sealed his status among golf's immortals. That summer, he went on an unreal tear, conquering the Open Championship at Royal Liverpool, and then the PGA Championship at Valhalla just 3 weeks later. 4 majors before turning 26. His pace was outpacing even Tiger and Jack at the same age. Jack Nicklaus himself, the man with 18 majors, didn't hold back. He's got the potential to win 15 or 20, he said. And the numbers backed it up. Rory's first 4 majors came with a combined 22-stroke margin, even surpassing Tiger's early dominance. But behind those glossy magazine covers calling him the next Tiger, a hidden weight grew heavier. The same power that rocketed him to fame became the very chain that held him back. Years later, he'd admitted himself, success had turned into pressure, and pressure into a prison. He later admitted, "I started playing not to lose, instead of playing to win." That one line said it all. After his Valhalla triumph in 2014, the media went wild. Rory wasn't just a champion anymore, he was the chosen one. Headlines around the world crowned him Tiger Woods' successor, and analysts were already drawing up record books in his name. A staggering 94% of golf experts predicted he'd bag at least 10 majors before hanging it up. Some even dared to whisper he could chase Jack Nicklaus's untouchable 18. On paper, the math was easy. The man was unstoppable. But what no one saw coming was how heavy success can get when the whole world's watching. As his fame exploded, so did the noise around his personal life. His high-profile relationship with tennis star Caroline Wozniacki crashed and burned in May 2014, just days after wedding invitations had already gone out. It was heartbreak in headlines, and the pressure was only getting louder. Just like Tiger Woods before him, Rory's personal life turned into front-page drama, every headline pulling him further from the greatness he was built for. The spotlight that once lifted him now started to crush him. The fearless kid who used to stare down pressure suddenly looked like he was carrying the world on his shoulders. His putting, once ice-cold and deadly, began to crumble under expectations. Sure, his drive still thundered off the tee, ranking him among the PGA Tour's longest hitters. But when it came to clutch birdies, his touch had vanished. From 2015 onward, the man who once sank pressure putts with swagger now couldn't buy one when it mattered most. And golf, it moves on quick. Today's hero becomes yesterday's headline before the ink dries. New stars rise, old ones fade. As Rory stumbled, Jordan Spieth stepped up, winning the 2015 Masters, the very major many believed should have completed Rory's Grand Slam dream. And before he could recover, Brooks Koepka was already knocking on the door. Then came a new wave, fearless, hungry, and completely unfazed by the McIlroy mystique. Suddenly, Rory wasn't the young gun anymore. He was the hunted. Brooks Koepka turned into a major winning machine, and golf's next generation came swinging without fear. But the cruelest ghost of all waited at Augusta National, the one major that kept slipping through his fingers. The Masters became his personal tormentor, the missing piece for that elusive career Grand Slam. In 2018, paired with Patrick Reed in the Sunday final group, Rory's nerves cracked wide open. He stumbled to a 2-over-74, carting bogeys on 5 holes, and watched Reed slip into the green jacket he'd dreamed about for years. Later, in a brutally honest 2016 ESPN interview, he confessed, "I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of expectation going into Augusta, a lot of hype, and a lot of pressure I put on myself." That wasn't just honesty, it was heartbreak in his own words. The weight of expectation became too heavy to carry, and behind those missed putts and tense swings, a personal storm was brewing, one that would shake Rory's world to its core. For a while, it seemed like he'd finally found balance with Erica Stoll, the woman who brought calm to his chaos. Their lavish 2017 wedding at Ireland's stunning Ashford Castle looked like a fairy tale come true. Golf demands a clear head, and a peaceful home can make or break that focus. When their daughter Poppy was born in August 2020, it looked like Rory had it all: love, legacy, and family. On the surface, everything was perfect. But beneath that picture-perfect image, cracks were forming. As he kept chasing that elusive 5th major, The foundation holding his world together was quietly falling apart, and nobody outside his circle saw it coming. Then came May 2024, and the news hit like a thunderclap across the golf world. Just days before the US Open, headlines exploded. Rory McIlroy had filed for divorce in Palm Beach County. The documents laid everything bare. He planned to uphold his prenup and arrange shared parenting for little Poppy. The timing couldn't have been worse, throwing chaos right into the heart of his tournament prep for one of golf's toughest stages. His mind wasn't on the course anymore. It was in a courtroom and a family home split in two. But just when fans thought it was over, the story flipped again. Barely a month later, after tense late-night talks at their Florida mansion, the couple withdrew the divorce filing. Rory announced they'd reconciled, saying, "We realized our best future was together." Still, the emotional fallout from such a public near-collapse couldn't be hidden. The cracks in his personal life spilled straight into his game, and the pressure showed with every swing. All of this unfolded while Rory stood in the middle of golf's biggest war, the brutal showdown between the PGA Tour and the Saudi-backed LIV Golf. As one of the PGA's loudest defenders and a policy board member, he spent more time in boardrooms than on driving ranges. The fight wasn't just political, it was personal, and it drained him from the inside out. On the Stick to Football podcast, Rory later admitted what few expected. He'd been too harsh on those who took the LIV money. "Not everyone's in the same spot as me or Tiger," he confessed. "Not everyone's made tens of millions. Not everyone can afford to say no." That was the sound of a humbled, wiser Rory, a man learning the cost of conviction. But that emotional toll didn't stay behind closed doors. It followed him onto the fairways, turning near victories into heartbreaks that stung deeper than ever. At the 2022 Open Championship in St. Andrews, Rory was right there again, the crowd behind him, history within reach, until Cameron Smith stormed past and snatched it away. Then came the 2023 US Open, where he finished solo second, just one painful shot behind Wyndham Clark. And the heartbreak didn't stop there. In 2024 at Pinehurst, he held a two-shot lead with only 4 holes left. The trophy practically his. But golf can turn cruel in a heartbeat. Rory bogeyed 3 of his last 4 holes, and that brutal missed 3-foot putt on 18 sealed his fate, handing the title straight to Bryson DeChambeau. The photo of Rory with his hands over his face said it all. A decade of frustration, pain, and near misses captured in one haunting image. Later he admitted softly, "The few days after were pretty tough. That wasn't just defeat, it was heartbreak on live TV. I've done a good job of thinking about it rationally, taking what I needed and trying to learn," Rory said. But no amount of calm words could hide the pain everyone saw. That collapse didn't just cost him a trophy, it chipped away another piece of his confidence, if there was any left at all. During that stretch, he bounced between coaches and swing theories like a man searching for something he'd lost. His once effortless motion turned into a maze of mechanics and second guesses. The swing that once looked like poetry now looked like math. Overanalyzed, uncertain, and haunted by perfection. He still had one of the most beautiful swings in the sport, no question. But the magic, that instinct, was fading under the pressure. The mix of media scrutiny, boardroom wars, and private chaos had cornered him. Rory McIlroy, the fearless prodigy, had reached a breaking point. The once unstoppable force of golf suddenly looked fragile, human, and at times completely defeated. But then, Rory made a move that shocked even those closest to him. He tore everything down and rebuilt his entire approach from scratch. The turning point came in mid-2024, when he and Erica reconciled. After withdrawing their divorce papers, they recommitted to their family, and that fresh sense of peace changed everything. With his home life steady again, the storm inside him finally began to calm. From there, Rory made bold professional shifts, starting with resigning from the PGA Tour Policy Board. That one decision freed up priceless mental space and hours of focus that had been eaten up by endless meetings and politics. For the first time in years, he wasn't the spokesman, the negotiator, or the defender. He was just Rory the golfer again. And that's exactly who the sport had been missing. "I realized I was spreading myself too thin," Rory admitted. "Every hour spent in meetings was an hour I wasn't improving my game." That moment of honesty marked a total reset. He didn't just change how he played, he changed how he lived. He cut the noise completely, going dark on social media to block out the non-stop opinions and criticism that had been eating away at his focus. No more distractions, no more endless scrolling, just silence and purpose. Rory also brought in a new mental performance coach to rewire his mindset and face the demons that had haunted him for years, especially the ghosts of Augusta, where that green jacket always slipped away. And technically, he stripped his game back to basics. No overthinking, no extra layers, just raw, instinctive golf, like the young Rory who once played for love, not legacy. Rory went back to the swing that built his legend. Smooth, natural, and effortless, flowing like water with zero mechanical clutter. The obsession with technique faded, replaced by pure rhythm and instinct. To sharpen the one area that had haunted him most, he linked up with putting coach Brad Faxon. mastering Augusta's wicked greens like never before. Every stroke became a dance, reading every slope, every tiny break with surgical focus. My best golf always comes when I play with freedom, not when I overthink, he said. And it showed. Throughout 2025, fans noticed a new Rory, calmer, sharper, and dangerous in silence. He wasn't chasing power anymore, he was controlling it. His preparation turned borderline scientific. Multiple trips to Augusta, hours of notes and practice rounds mimicking every hill, every tricky pin. By the time the Masters rolled around, Rory wasn't just ready, he was built for redemption. Those brutal approach shots into Augusta's elevated greens, those terrifying downhill putts, that's where champions are truly made. But the biggest surprise of all, Rory finally let his guard down. He started embracing vulnerability, speaking openly about his struggles, his fears, and the crushing pressure he'd carried into every Masters before. That honesty changed everything. It gave him a mental clarity he'd never had before. He wasn't hiding behind confidence anymore. He was fueled by truth. And it showed. The early months of 2025 proved it wasn't just talk, it was transformation in motion. He kicked off the year with a victory at the Hero Dubai Desert Classic, the same place where he'd claimed his first ever pro win 16 years ago. A full circle moment that hit deep. Then came strong runs at Pebble Beach and Bay Hill, confirming one thing loud and clear. Rory McIlroy was back, and this time, his mind was leading the charge. Each event that followed proved it. Rory's comeback was real. His swing looked smooth again, his body language calm, and his putting sharper than it had been in years. The numbers backed it up. Every stat showed the same thing the world was seeing with their own eyes. Rory McIlroy was finally playing his best golf in a decade. As April neared, all eyes turned to Augusta. The whispers, the hype, the pressure. Could this be the year? In his pre-Masters press conference, Rory's words hit differently. I've stopped trying to control the uncontrollable. I've accepted I might fail again, and that's freed me to play my best golf. That honesty silenced the room. The buzz was electric. Bryson, Scheffler, and Auberg were all tipped as frontrunners. But there was a new calm around Rory this time. 2025 marked his 11th shot at the career Grand Slam since that fourth major back in 2014. And somehow, it felt like destiny was circling back for him. 11 long years of heartbreak, all boiling down to 4 days that would define his entire legacy. But no one, not even Rory himself, could have predicted the emotional storm those 4 days would bring. Thursday opened shaky. A couple of bogeys late left him even par. Still in the mix but clearly battling nerves. Yet, something felt different. His patience was unshakable, his focus razor sharp, and beside him was his lifelong friend and caddy, Harry Diamond, the same kid he'd met at the Hollywood Golf Club when they were 7. His irons looked crisp, his putting smooth, and the spark was there again. Friday, he roared back with a flawless 6 under 66, the kind of round that makes Augusta whisper his name again. A few more like that, and the green jacket could finally be his. But Saturday's swirling winds turned Augusta into a battlefield. Rory clawed through with a gritty 1 under 71, while Justin Rose caught fire with a 68 to grab a one-shot lead. Every hole after that carried the ghosts of his past Masters heartbreaks, all building toward a Sunday showdown for destiny itself. And when the final day began, you could see the pressure. It was written all over his face. He opened Sunday with disaster, a double bogey on the very first hole after landing in a fairway bunker. But instead of crumbling, Rory did what few could. He steadied himself with ice-cold composure. Back-to-back birdies on holes 3 and 4 settled the nerves and got the momentum rolling again. By hole 7, trouble struck. A wild drive into the trees on the left. He had two options: play it safe and lay up, or take a ridiculous hero-level shot that wrapped around the trees toward the green, 154 yards out. And what did Rory do? He went bold. His ball curved perfectly, landed on the green, and set up an easy 2-putt par. Even he called it probably my shot of the tournament. He carried a 5-shot lead heading into 11, but Augusta never lets anyone get too comfortable. His drive veered into the trees again, and his second shot rolled endlessly toward the pond. Hearts stopped everywhere. But somehow, a few lucky blades of grass held it up, saving his dream by inches. He escaped with a bogey that could have been a nightmare. And after years of heartbreak, fate finally threw him a lifeline. Maybe this was the break Rory had been owed for years, but the back nine wasn't about to let him coast. It was chaos in slow motion. A double bogey on 13, a bogey on 14, and another stumble on 18. Suddenly his 5-shot cushion was gone. He and Justin Rose were dead even. Rose buried a clutch birdie on 18 to tie Rory's final one. And just like that, it all came down to a playoff. One hole for history. Both men striped it down the fairway. Tension thick enough to choke on. Rose's approach came up short, spinning back cruelly, while Rory, cool under pressure, nailed a crisp iron to 15 feet. Rose missed his birdie putt, and then it was Rory's turn. He stepped up to the same kind of putt that had haunted him at the US Open just a year earlier. 3 feet that once broke his heart. Now this was the putt, the one to finish the story. complete the career Grand Slam, and finally end a decade of torment. 954 days. That's how long the drought had lasted. Then, with the whole world watching, the ball kissed the left edge and dropped. Augusta erupted like thunder. Rory McIlroy, the kid from Holywood, Northern Ireland, had finally done it. The dream that started with a plastic club had come full circle. Now he's the one on bedroom walls, inspiring the next generation just like Tiger once inspired him. What a journey. What a moment. If you felt that goosebumps finish, smash that like button, share this story. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Golf Swing. See you in the next one.